Hi Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your December 2020 money and career reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from your body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Aries, December 2020 money and career, Aries. 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 Ooh, okay. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. And 2 bonus cards. Put them right here. Fantastic. And let's see your chakra energy for this time. Aries. December 2020 money and career, Aries. December 2020 money and career, Aries. December 2020 money and career, Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading, and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. So we have the soul star chakra located 6 inches above your crown, angels and masters. We have play, the heart chakra. And we have truth, the throat chakra. And we'll see how these equate to the tarot in just a moment. The left-hand side is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And then you have your bonus cards. So we have the 5 of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the 2 of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles, repeat of the number 5 right here, showing freedom being desired and also things being resolved more quickly than you had imagined. You have the Star, which is Aquarius energy, time frame January 20th to February 18th. You have Justice, which is the Libra time frame. This is September 23rd to October 22nd. You then have the 6 of Pentacles, which is Justice in the Minor Arcana, and you have the Ten of Wands. You have the King of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, strong pull to the Libra energy that's here. You have the Ace of Swords. This gift is definitely being taken. You have then the Four of Cups, and you have the King of Pentacles, which means that this gift here is also very much being taken during this time. You have the Four of Wands and the Three of Wands. So that's beautiful. New horizons, new opportunities, new prosperities coming in. And this is what you're striving for here during this time. Okay, there we go. And let's see the people you need to be mindful of during this time. Who are the people that Aries needs to be mindful of? Who are the people that will aid Aries December 2020 money and career? Who are the people who will aid Aries December 2020 money and career? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, fantastic. So we have here the Moon card, which is Pisces energy, time frame February 19th to March 20th. And that is a person who really faces their fears. I'll get to that in a moment. You have the King of Cups, again, water sign energy coming forward, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Very strongly connected. People who aid you during this time are very strongly connected with their emotions, what they desire, what they are looking for. And then you have the Prince of Cups, which just amplifies this with the water sign energy. Again, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. So this can be here, Aries, that your best friend during this time, like the person that you really pull a lot of information out of, you really pull this sense of a grounding and a betterment, is a water sign energy, or somebody who really comes to things from the heart. And no matter what, this person will always come to things from the heart. And that's going to be something that you're very drawn to during this time. And let's start with the chakra energy. We have here the soul star chakra, the heart chakra, and the throat chakra. So here, your angels are really protecting you. They're kind of cocooning you in their wings. There's the heart that's around you, because if you see here, the wings, of course, make a heart as you are in the center. And there's a sense of love, there's a sense of balance, there's a sense of beauty, there's a sense of brilliance that comes forward. And there's a sense of you being connected with the divine and what you divinely want and what the divine has to offer you. And so it opens up the door, it opens up the pathways. And then we have play, which is the heart chakra. It's opening you up to saying, you know what, don't be, because there is going to be this tendency, especially in your inner self. It's like there's this tendency, there's something karmic that comes up. There's a sense of, having to address a pauper's mentality. This isn't the Two of Cups. This is the Two of Pentacles right here. I do apologize about that. But there's this sense of needing to address what has held you back before. And as you address this, Spirit is saying it's time to let joy, it's time to let celebration, it's time to let happiness, it's time to let beauty into your life, to embrace the heart and to open the heart to play, to joy. And it can be very, very easy to overlook that aspect of yourself. So just be mindful of that. And then we have truth, which is the throat chakra. Speaking your truth is so important. For an individual to speak their truth, to claim their power, that is where we start. And your heart right here with justice and with the Six of Pentacles is really calling for you to speak that truth, to have that star that guides you towards the greater form of your being, towards what you truly want. Because during this time, you have the might of kings behind you. You have this passion, you have this determination, you have this way of looking at things that lets people know that you're not playing around. You quite literally here are taking these gifts from divinity and you are emboldening, embracing, moving forward in a way that absolutely, smashes down barriers, lets you embrace what it is that you want, lets you embrace what it is that you desire, and moves you forward in greater truth of soul, greater truth of self, greater truth of being. And that's why here, during this time, and that makes perfect sense with looking at the chakras, you have the energy of the moon coming in. This is fears. This is the tame side of our personality and the wild side of our personality coming together. This is looking at the fears that we have. This is being a ruler of ourselves and moving forward in love. So these are going to be the people that you're really drawn to during this time. This is a person, now this can be one person. Now this doesn't have to be a person you know in real life. This can very much be a person who inspires you through any form of media and helps you face fears that have held you back, that have kept you small, that have kept you overwhelmed. And it's like, no, I'm not staying in the shadows anymore. I'm not being afraid of the shadows. I'm looking at the beauty that is the moon. I'm looking at the beauty that is the reflection of the sun. And I move forward in that grace, in that comprehension, in that power. And as I do so, I move forward in the being that is me, in the joy that is me, in the beauty that is me. And that's what this person really shows. It's like, I am not afraid. And during this time, especially in the world, to say, I am not afraid, I'm moving forward, not being foolish, of course, but being determined and being passionate and being brilliant. That's going to be what really moves you towards your goals, moves you towards what you desire, lifts up the veil and says, this is what I want. Because the veil of fear is so real, especially when it's something you can't fight, especially when it's something where you can't sit there and say, okay, if I do enough of this, everything will be fine. When there's uncertainty, which our world has so much of, even, if you take everything that's going on right now out of the scenario, our world still doesn't have a very kind of formidable enemy that you sit there and say, oh, okay, that's the bad thing. And if I conquer that, then everything will be okay. There were more defined lines, or we like to look at history with more defined lines. And here, fear, because it is so ingrained in us, because it's what kept our ancestors alive, as we look at fear and say, you don't get to instill in me the fight or flight reaction. You don't get to take control over my senses and my life. I move forward in my power. This is going to be what inspires you forward. And there is a sense of determination, of brilliance. It doesn't mean that you won't get frustrated. There are times where you feel like there's no light at all, where you're frustrated, you're overwhelmed, cranky, and it's like kind of like vomiting upset. And this is where you look at what you're afraid of, you look at everything that's frustrating you, and you embrace this imagery of the King of Cups and this person who inspires you, or this inspiration of self that comes in is like, I'm the king of my own domain, and I'm going to rule my world with love, with caring, with compassion, and with beauty of heart. And that opens me up to new opportunities, to new desires, to new ways forward. And that's really going to be quite beautiful, quite exquisite. And so here with the King of Cups, you're opening yourself to that beauty, to that love, to that greater power. And as you do so, and you're opening yourself to this person who knows, I can only rule my life. And when I get off course, as we all do, I make amends, I state where I've gone wrong, and we keep on moving forward. And that's going to be something that you find great solace in here, Aries, because you're represented by the god of war in the major arcana. Well, actually just in your name, right? And so here you're represented by the Emperor in the major arcana, you're represented by the god of war. You are this force to be reckoned with. And once you realize that every single decision that you make, bad, good, or indifferent, does not get to define you for your whole entire life. I mean, we like the good ones too, right? But that there's room to move forward, and there isn't this sense to always be perfect, and there isn't this sense that, oh, I'm always a failure. Life is not extremes. And so once you see here this person embracing their power for who they are, and it's like, yeah, I messed up. Yeah, this wasn't right. Yeah, I had a cranky bad day, and I was a jerk. That type of thing. Once you see that and you embrace the love that comes from that openness of emotion of self, that moves you forward, and you are inspired by people who move forward in this love of emotion, in this sense of a defending of the heart of, this is what I work for, this is what I want, my heart's truth is so important to me. And why you are so focused here with the people who aid you, being surrounded by the heart, is because you have the sense of the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords is something karmic that comes. And it's like, I don't want to face this again. I don't want to do this again. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. I've had enough. You've had enough. And it's not necessarily going to be terrible. So I don't Spirit doesn't want you to think like, oh my gosh, I've had enough and just give up. December isn't going to be good. No, December actually is going to be quite exquisite for you in a way that you move forward, like this clarity of mind and this prosperity that you take, and this way that you open up the doors for yourself. And you sit there and you say, there is power, there's beauty, there's blessings, there is truth to me. And here it's like you just have to traverse this domain where either, it brings up bad memories, or there are doubts and fears like, can I move forward this way? Am I doing the wrong thing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I too overwhelmed? Am I looking at this the correct way? Am I letting memories from the past really come in and influence my future? So the questions are there. And the serpent here is really showing me like a shedding of the skin. It's like, I have to let go of who I once was, or I have to embrace this flexibility and this greater understanding of mind. Now, also, there is this sense that, okay, so if you look at our eyes, a human being's eyes, you can see the white of the eyes, right? But if you look at the eyes of chimpanzees or gorillas, you can't. You can see the brown of their eyes. So there is a theory that we develop the white of the eyes to be able to better understand what we're looking for, where a person is looking, and better, gauge their facial expressions. And that our eyesight developed to be so good because we had to be able to see the snake in the grass quite literally. So here, this is seeing the snake in the grass rather not metaphysically, rather philosophically, okay? So, or metaphorically, that's the word. And so here, with looking at things, it's kind of like, okay, what's the upset here? What's the anger? What's the trepidation? Where's the chaos? Where's the next shoe going to drop? And you're very much waiting for this next shoe to drop, Aries. But there's a sense here, like if you balance yourself and you release a lot of the pressure that you put on yourself and say, like, this is what I have to do, and this is the pressure that I'm putting me under because it's going to forge me and make me better. It's like, no. Once you step away and you say, I embrace my truth, I embrace my understanding. I am not held by my past, by the anger, by the upset, by karmic debt handed to me from my DNA line, from my past lifeline. I'm done. I get to embrace. And that's why you're going to be really, really intrigued by these people who say, this is my life. This is my life. This is my beauty. This is my understanding. And I get to move forward in my love. And that starts to become a gift of prosperity that's handed to you, a gift of prosperity that moves you forward. It's like, oh my. And once you embrace this karmic debt, what you start to focus on here in your internal self is how to take this gift of prosperity and run with it. Because run with it, you do. There's a sense of power, of might, of beauty, of abundance coming in. There's a sense of, I have what I need. And it might not necessarily be, all the money comes in, though I would most definitely wish that it does for each and every one of you. There's a sense of wealth or something you value as much as money coming in. Prosperity that leads you forward. Bounty that guides you, that transforms you. That really is a gift. It's almost like manna from heaven that comes. And it's a gift that fills you soul and self, that moves you forward. And it brings you to the Two of Pentacles. It brings you to balancing what is so important to you. But it also, if you see here, they're in these glass jars. And so it makes it so that you feel like if you drop it, everything shatters. Everything shatters. Everything falls apart. And your root is like, you've had everything shatter on you before. You've had everything fall apart. You've pulled yourself up by the bootstraps. And so here, it's like embracing this balance of understanding, embracing this blessing of truth, embracing the fact that you can't always be perfect, Aries. And none of us like to hear that. We always just want to do the very best job that we can every single time and just be perfect and happy and joyful and cheerful and lovely every moment of every day. And that's not possible. As much as we would love it to be, sometimes, we just get cranky like little kids. Little kids, when they have to go for a nap, all of a sudden, and they can switch on a dime. You're playing, you're having fun, and then they are just holy terrors. And so we kind of have that bit of crankiness in us. We learn how to deal with it a lot better. But because you're balancing everybody and everything, and you're not balancing yourself, there needs to be this call. There needs to be this understanding that I move forward in love for me. I move forward in balance for me. Because there is this fear here with the Five of Pentacles that I'm always going to be on the outside of wealth. That wealth is for other people. Happiness, joy, prosperity, abundance. That's for others. It doesn't get to be for me. And that's just a lie. That is just a lie. You've been through struggles and tribulations, hardships, pains, disappointments. That's why you feel like if I drop anything, okay, everything will fall apart. I'll never get to be who I want to be. I'll never get to be where I want to be. And that's not true. That's not true. Because what you're seeing here is you're seeing all the reasons, all the negativity that has held you back. And what is time to happen is it's time to look at that anger, that negativity, that upset, that upheaval. And Spirit is saying it's time to bless it. And I know that sounds so counterintuitive and also aggravating. It does sound very aggravating to say, I look at the part of me that, had a pauper's mentality, that lost everything. And I say, I bless you. But you know why you have to do that in your subconscious? Is because at those moments when you are at your lowest, okay? At those moments when you cry yourself to sleep at night and life seems to strangle you with the pain and the hurt and the upset that you have, nobody blessed you. It felt like nobody was there for you. So there needs to be a healing done. There needs to be a connection and a saying, I'm here for you. I know it's future me and I'm a bit late to the game because I had to become, but I'm here for you. And I see the desolation that you felt. I know the desolation that you felt more intimately and more powerfully than anybody else will ever. And I honor you. I respect you. And I open up the door to you. The door that made you feel like this was as good as I could do. The door that had you underselling yourself. That had you doubting yourself and hurting yourself with the pain of I'm not enough. Because I am enough. I am enough to open up the door, to move into prosperity, to balance what I need in myself. And to know that, yes, at times I will stumble, I will fall, I will make mistakes, but I will rise and I will take this blessing that is a part of me because it is part of my karmic reason for being on this earth, to have the door open. And then the star comes in. It seems like you've been chasing it, hasn't it? Dreams and wishes, hopes and desires. And sometimes our dreams, they become so sacred to us. Because when we're going through this time of pauperism, is that a word? Let's make it one. Yes, let's make pauperism a word. When we go through this time of desolation of soul and of anger and of hurt and of despair, our dreams are all we have. The dream of the future, the hope of what's to come. And so we wish upon a star. We cross our fingers and we say, oh, hopefully. And as we look up at the stars, now here, yes, she's diving into space. But have you ever looked up at the stars in a place that doesn't have a whole bunch of light pollution? If you've gone out into the forest or, top of a mountain or just been on a mountain or into the desert, you look up and you see the stars. And they're astounding. They are so vast that it's as overwhelming as seeing the sea. Because the mind can almost not take in how everlasting and never-ending they are. And these are the desires of our souls. When divinity looks into us, they see that ocean, they see that sea of stars. The dreams that we have. The surface dreams, the deeper dreams, the magnitude of who we are, of what we want, of what we desire, of what we're seeing. And so we dive deeper and deeper. And divinity looks at the wishes that we have, the dreams that we have for the soul of ourselves, for the grace of our presence, for the bounty of our truth. And it's time to embrace. It's time to embrace something greater than we have imagined. It's time to look at what, yes, makes us feel small in this vast open world, but also knowing that divinity sees and is granting us a wish that is so personal, so powerful, that it changes the scope of our being. It changes the trajectory forward. And as we embrace this, we embrace justice. We have a balance coming in. Justice isn't the letter of the law. right? It's discernment of soul. It is balancing of self. It is saying, you know what? No, I don't want to do that. I can do it. I respect that it is part of a calling that I have inside of me. But if I walk down that path, if I do that thing, or I let those people in, I start to lose a part of me that I'm only just starting to discover, or that's so absolutely powerful for me. And a part of me that I love so much, I don't want to let it go. And so here it's letting that discernment in. It's letting that balance in. It's letting that greater understanding in. And it's balancing the scales within your life as you take this gift. And there has to be a balance also done in the public arena. Because there is this sense of, oh, I can have more. You know, I can do more. I can achieve more. And who doesn't want more, right? There's a sense in our world, you'll never have enough. You'll never be satisfied. More is always better. Like more money, right? People always say, oh, more money is always better. And I remember I was watching something on YouTube, and this person made like almost $1 million a year. And she said, you know, more money is always better. And I thought, what could you do with all of that? Like there comes a point where, yeah, that would be awesome, right? But there comes a point where it's like, seriously, what do you do? You know, and how much do you get to enjoy your life and yourself? And so here it's looking at what the world pushes us towards, right? What the world views as riches and what we ourselves view as riches. And in needing to balance our scales, or needing to balance ourselves, to look at what we desire, what we want, what we need, what we long for, and to say enough is enough to certain people that take and take and take, that overwhelm us, that, you know, make us question ourselves, or at work that put more and more upon our shoulders and say, oh, don't worry, Aries will handle it. You always have everything done so well. And it's like, no, I need to stop. I need to stop and I need to move forward in the power and the grace and the beauty that is me. And as you do so, the Ten of Wands comes into play, and you stop a cycle where more and more and more is just put on your shoulders. And Aries, you're going to think of, I can handle it. And it's going to be almost a matter of pride, right? So it's kind of like, I can handle this. I'm the general of my life. I am, you know, you very much have like the god of war in you. And it's not a bad thing. It's like once you get focused on something, come hell or high water, you will be moving forward. You will be getting there, unless you decide it's not what you want, but it's a tactical decision. And so as you look at things, and as you're embracing your passion, as you're embracing your understanding, and as, you know, you're burning brightly with your fire, you're also looking at everything that is weighing you down, all the dreams that you carry that are, you know, that you're afraid to bring forward. And we all have that fear. You know, we can see that, you know, time and time again here in the reading. It's like, what do I not want the world to sully? And also, everything that we take on from other people. It's like, oh, I'll carry your load. Oh, I'll do this. Oh, I'll do that. And it's like, I can't. I need to release. And sometimes this is having a tantrum. Some of you Aries, I swear, will find yourself having a bit of a tantrum, or you might have already had that tantrum and kind of lost your composure, gotten upset, and released some of the burdens that were on you. It's like, I can't carry this anymore, and I don't even want to. And because you had that realization, there's a sense of setting yourself free. You've come to an end of a cycle. It's time to take your passion. It's time to take what you desire and burn that fire of truth. And as you do so, you cut through the doubts, the fears, the anger. This is the warrior king. The king of swords is the warrior king. And that's what you're embracing here. Because you can sit there and say, well, if I'm Aries and I'm represented by the wands and the minor arcana, then wouldn't that be the warrior king? That's the king that gets things done. That's the king that's not afraid, you know, to roll up his sleeves, to go after. But the king of swords, wands is a weapon, yes, but swords were an elite weapon, right? Everybody was not allowed to have a sword. They just weren't. It was by law. You know, you could be put to death for having a sword because you weren't of the right class. So here, it's looking at this skill, this passion, this determination, this knowledge that you have that sets you apart from everybody else, okay? That other people can view as something astoundingly intense. And you cut through the doubts and the fears and the angers and the upsets, and you know your mind, and it rings as clearly as a bell. It chimes in your truth. It brings you forward in your understanding. And you're like, oh, well, that's it, isn't it? And because you have this King of Swords in the public arena, I mean, seriously, you're crowned with a king and you're rooted with a king. People are going to find you rather formidable when it comes to career, when it comes to your mind, and when it comes to the prosperity that you are building within yourself. Both of these kings have antlers. And that's important, because antlers were a sign of fertility, yes, but also a sign of kingliness, of being one with the world around you and being kind of the king of the forest. So here you have that energy coming forward, that sense of, I am ruling my domain. I am prosperous and fertile within what I am planting for myself and the knowledge that I am building it with. And so here, as you have that knowledge coming forward, you then have the Ace of Swords. God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, hands you a gift of knowledge, of understanding. And if you see that little mouse with the crown on top of his head, over this, it can be a human, skeleton right there drawn. It's like something so little can be so mighty. And that's what you're going to find. The knowledge that seems so little can be so mighty. The power that you have that seems so little can be so tremendously mighty. And that's what moves you forward as a king. And it brings you to the Four of Cups. Divinity is handing you a gift that doesn't necessarily feel like a gift. You're not really going to see it. And more often than not, this is a gift that's handed in the most plain, nothing looking cup. So here we have a nice, beautiful cup filled with liquid. And we have they're all rabbits. Yeah, so here, there's no rabbit on this cup, but there are rabbits on the cups that this person is holding right here when they hold this rabbit, and they have the mask of the rabbit to them. So there is one way that you're seeing things, and this is going to be a way that's very comfortable for you. Okay, highly prosperous, because rabbits multiply quickly, right? But the gift that's being handed is not the one that you are used to, is not what you are used to seeing, but it's still opening up the door. And it is actually going to open up the door so much more for you than you had imagined. And once you take it, and you're not going to really want to take it because you're going to think, what the heck is this? Or, oh my gosh, that's so wrong. But once you take it and you drink deeply of it, you move forward in empowerment. You move forward in understanding. And it's like, oh, that's what I was missing. And it brings you to the King of Pentacles. It brings you to prosperity, wealth, bounty, planting the seeds, seeing the interconnectedness of things that once eluded you. And as you see this, as you embrace this, it's like, oh, that's it, isn't it? And there's going to be a sense during this time that the littlest things bring you the most prosperity. The littlest things open up the door for you. The littlest things mean the most. And that's what brings you forward into wealth. Now you have the repeat of the number 4 here. This is saying take care of yourself. Okay, look at you. And as, of yourself, of your home, what's sacredly important. Then you have the repeat of the aces right here, especially when you bring in discernment. In this deck, justice is card number 11. So here you have, 1, 1, and then 1, 1. So you have 4 11s. You have not 4 11s, but you have 4 1s moving you forward. And there's a sense of this power, this truth to 11s, healing, understanding, a sense of mysticism that is around you. And as long as you are discerning with the energy that you let into your heart, the prosperity, the gifts, they come forward. And it brings you to this end of a cycle. And it brings you to this sense of, it brings you not to an end of a cycle, but to freedom. And a sense of, oh, wow, this wasn't as hard or as overwhelming or as, too much as I thought it was going to be. There is an end in sight. And as the 4 of Wands comes forward, there's the celebration, there's, joy and happiness and brilliance and power and moving forward and creation and just loveliness here. This is something to be celebrated. Now, whether it's new job opportunities, it's moving house, it's, celebrating the holidays, it's embracing love within your life, it's nurturing what it is that you truly desire within yourself, or just simply the understanding and the opening up of new reasons, of new insight. it opens up the door and it leads you forward. It leads you forward in a way that you hadn't imagined. And it starts to bring in this absolute brilliance. And it broadens your horizons. It's like all of a sudden a world that once was astoundingly small becomes vast and beautiful and big and powerful. And you're like, oh, well, is that it? Oh, well, is that what I desire? And you start to see your ships coming in. You start to see ideas that you have kind of bearing fruit. And you start putting out new ideas because it's like, well, I can move forward, can't I? I can do this, can't I? This is obtainable. And you say it like a question to yourself. It's like, this is obtainable. And a part of you during this time, especially when it comes to finances and really trusting your ideas, you're going to be doubting yourself. You're going to be waiting for that next shoe to drop. Now, this is not a time where it's like, take unnecessary risks, be foolish. No, be very down to earth, be very grounded, okay? Especially in your inner self. That's going to be so important to you. But seeing the gifts that you have, seeing the gifts of prosperity and seeing the whispers of prosperity that are moving you forward, once you balance the scales, once you see what it is that you truly desire, that you truly need, that you need to move forward with, it really does start to open up the door. And as the door is opened, it's like once the door is open, the tidal wave that comes forward, the power that comes forward cannot be put back. And that's going to be overwhelming at times, yes, but that's also going to be awesome. Okay, so let's go deeper. Aries. December 2020, money and career, Aries. December 2020, money and career, Aries. December 2020, money and career, Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh. Oh, that's cool. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Right, and let's see the people who will be aiding you, who you need to be mindful of. There we go. Who are the people that Aries needs to be mindful of? December 2020, money and career. Who are the people that Aries needs to be mindful of? December 2020, money and career. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. So we have here the Princess of Cups, the Chariot, which is Cancer energy, time frame June 21st to July 22nd, and the King of Wands. So we start off with the Princess of Cups. This is somebody who is very into drama. They're very immature. It doesn't mean that they have to be young in age. They're just going to be young in spirit or in, spiritual maturity. And you're going to be thinking, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? This can also be somebody who is usually so stable and steady and, and good. And they're just going to have enough. And there is the sense of a bit of temper tantrums going on. And I hate to say that because, the holidays are here, but have you ever noticed that sometimes where the more stress is put on us and everything like that, and things have been quite odd, that sometimes everybody just needs to have a good little meltdown every now and then things move forward. That's going to be this person. Now, this person can be having a meltdown in some form of media and really pulling you in. But this person will have a tendency to pull you in, especially here. And they don't mean to, is what Spirit is saying. But especially here, since you're so drawn to water sign energy during this time, this person and this person right here, this Chariot, where it's like charge forward, let your emotions guide you, nothing can go wrong if only you feel it type of thing, that's going to be a little bit dangerous. Because this person is just totally letting their emotions kind of overwhelm them. And this person here is just driving it home. It's like just running away with it. So finding this balance, finding this greater understanding with this person and not being caught up in their chaos is going to be very, very, very important. And then here with the King of Wands, fire sign energy calls to fire sign energy. So you're going to feel very connected to this person. But this person here is going to be somebody who likes to start fires. Likes to start fires, likes to see what happens, likes to, kind of stir the pot, get everybody angry, get, the blood boiling, and then kind of walk away and say, well, I'm good now. I feel so much better. And you're going to look at them and be like, well, I'm so glad, because I was perfectly fine before we started talking, before I started listening to what you had to say. And now I'm like rip-roaring mad. And I don't have an outlet for it. So just be very mindful of this, because they really are going to focus on points that really, really, really pull you in. And then it's going to be like, now what? Now what? Because they're going to go on their way. They're going to do their thing. They can departmentalize it better. And you're going to be left kind of outraged. So we have the 7 of Cups. We have the 6 of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Oh, I love that. That's for the heart. And then we have the King of Pentacles, again, this time now crowning your heart. Justice. Ooh, I love this. Justice over the Minor Arcana Justice card. The Magician. Oh, that's beautiful. The Hermit, Virgo energy, August 23rd to September 22nd. The 7 of Pentacles, so here you then have the repeat of the number 7, and you have the Emperor. You're rooted with you over the King of Pentacles, which is going to be quite lovely, the King of success and prosperity and planting the seeds of what you desire and what you want on this earthly plane. It's such a beautiful connection here. So let's start talking about the 7 of Cups. And the 7 of Cups is really focusing on that theme that Divinity was bringing up before, that your angels and your spirit guides was talking about letting your dreams move you forward and not keeping your dreams on the shelf and not being lured into simply daydreaming, but also bringing things into action. It's like, this is my dream, this is what I desire. How do I move myself forward? How do I embrace what I want and where it is that I want to be, and how I move forward in my love and in my understanding? And this is letting the dreams come forward. It's not being swept away in fantasy land, though sometimes you need that. It is looking at the dreams and saying, how do I bring this practically, purposefully, and bountifully into my world? And how do my dreams get to be part of my heart, my soul, and myself? Because one of the problems that we have on this earth, as I see it, is that we don't embrace our hearts and our dreams. We sit there and we think, I just have to settle, right? I just have to sacrifice, because I'll never be truly happy. I'll never really embrace the love that I want within my life if I don't follow what everybody else is doing. And that isn't necessarily true. So here, especially when we're faced with something karmic, when the gifts of prosperity are coming forward to us, it's embracing our dreams, and it's saying, I can let in the beauty. I can. And I can be part of that beauty, part of that centering, part of that soul. And it moves you to the 6 of Swords. It moves you as you find that balance, as you balance yourself. It moves you to what you love. It moves you forward, and it's scary and it's overwhelming, but it's on that journey that you need to be on. It's like, I need to move forward to embrace this knowledge, to embrace this truth, to embrace this power. And as you move forward in this understanding, there's a new door that opens up. There's a new way that opens up, and it leads you to the Queen of Cups. Strong, again, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. It's over the 5 of Pentacles. This is a sentiment of, I'm not worthy of wealth. And the Queen of Cups is more than worthy of wealth. She's a queen. Queens have richness to them. They just do. And so here it's being open to the wealth of emotion, because, poverty, hardship, pain, financial struggle, it hurts us in every single way. It hurts us emotionally. It hurts us spiritually. It hurts us financially, most definitely. It hurts us passionately, because we think, oh my gosh, I can't go after my passion. Like, I just need to hunker down, and it doesn't matter how. I just need that money to come in. I just need this security to come forward. And the Queen of Cups is saying, very much like the King of Cups said, it's like, focus on your heart, on your soul, on ruling you, on embracing the wisdom and the beauty and the power that guides you, and opening up the doors to your heart, your soul, yourself, and your discovery. It's time to embrace your heart's truth. And as you open up this door and you embrace that emotion, the King of Pentacles comes in. What you most long for starts coming forward. The King of Pentacles, you start seeing connections that once eluded you. And as the connections come forward, the justice comes in, the discernment, the understanding, and it brings you here to really embracing wealth of self within your heart. It's like, I deserve this. And it's not, there's a difference, okay? So a lot of times, especially when we're coming out of pain and trauma, we go, I deserve this. And it's like, I'm going to fight for it. It's going to be mine. I've been robbed. I've been wronged. And I'm going to come to this that way, with might equals right type of mentality. And what you're going to see here, and what's going to be really important, is that a gentle approach for you, Aries, is going to be the best approach. It's like, well, I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to move forward. And you know what? You might not tell anybody, because you know that old saying, two can keep a secret when one of them is dead? It's like, I always find that so terribly funny, but also kind of like a thing to live by. Keep your dreams in your heart and work towards them quietly and diligently. My great-grandma used to say, and I was raised by my mom, my grandma, and my great-grandma, she used to say, what is it? Like 90% of people don't care about your dreams and what you desire. And the other 10% wish you ill. And I was like, whoa, that's harsh. But, it's kind of true. There are this very, very, very small percentage that is so small that it almost seems insignificant, that will truly always believe in you, truly always have your back. And that might be at this moment, just you and your angels and your spirit guides, just you and divinity. And you might say, what good is that? Well, it can open up kingdoms. It can bring you to a place you never expected. It has beauty and it has power to it. And it moves you to justice. It moves you to a sense here of finding that balance again, of finding that beauty, of finding that harmony, that discernment within yourself, to walk the road of kings, to walk in the prosperity of kings. And during this time, you have the ability to have prosperity come forward. And this is, again, wealth or something you value as much as money. And since we are talking about money and career here, Spirit is saying, now Spirit is always a bit tricky when it comes to money, because Spirit sees wealth very differently than we see wealth. But there's this grand prosperity that is around you, that is guiding you forward. Be just, be balanced, harmonize. Don't run yourself into the ground. Okay, that's going to be very important, because as you put down the burdens that have been overwhelming you, you embrace the magic that's within. You embrace the elemental power. You embrace the magic of the God's head within you. Okay, the elemental power of knowledge, of passion, of love, and of knowledge, passion, love. Hold on. And the stabilizing truth. And that's going to be that's so funny, because it's the pentacles that eluded me. And that's the gift that keeps on coming forward. That's going to be the gift that eludes you the most during this time, which is, you might sit there and say, oh, thanks, Dane. Thank you so much. I want to know that wealth is going to be eluding me. But it's the rooting in the Five of Pentacles. It's the rooting in, I don't deserve it. Write on your mirrors. Write on a mirror. Have it set in your phone. I am enough. And when you start to look at it, you might be like me and get really, really mad, because there's so much more that you want in the world. There's so much more that you are working for. And there's so many failures that you know of. Other people might not know of them, but you definitely do. You know yourself the best you can ever know anybody, right? And to say, I am enough, can almost feel completely counterintuitive. How can I be enough? I lose my temper. I don't meet all my goals. I failed. I failed, and sometimes in miraculously astounding ways. How can I be enough? But that's the magic that you are embracing here. To stand before the altar of your existence and say, I have the right and I have the power to wield the God's head within me, to wield that passion, to wield that desire, to open up the universe to me. And that leads you. That leads you to the Hermit. That leads you to turning inward and looking at the light that guides you in your knowledge and in this gift of knowledge. It's like, I need a meditative time, a sacred time with that knowledge. Now, it doesn't have to be that you sit and meditate. If you like that, then that's awesome. It could be, the meditation of work, that mindless work, where you're gardening or raking or, cleaning out the closets or something like that. And it's just mindless, washing the dishes. And you get to connect. You get to go deeper and connect with the heart, with the passion, with the desire of you. And it's like, oh. And that then leads you to the Seven of Pentacles. That then leads you to the patience. The patience that you have as you start to accept this gift. That the prosperity that you have been building, it takes time. I always love the statement, Rome wasn't built in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. But if you take that one step further, Rome wasn't built in a day, and it didn't fall in a day. Everything that we build and everything that we destroy, it takes time. And we don't like the destroying point, but, at times we do need to. We do need to build again and change and grow and evolve. Here, the prosperity that you want is coming. Things happen in divine timing, which always ticks me the heck off because I like things to happen yesterday. And so here, there is a sense of patience. Have patience, especially as you are figuring things out, as you have that meditative power to move forward. Have patience, because you are puzzling out. You are gaining a greater understanding. Have patience, and the world opens. Have patience, and the results will be sweet. It might not be, lottery over-the-top wealth. It may very well be small and gentle, but oh so valuable to you. And then that will be just beautiful and rich and lovely. And it moves you then. As you embrace the King of Pentacles, as you embrace your wealth and your prosperity, you embrace you. The Emperor represents you, Aries. This is the essence of yourself. This is the sense of, okay, fine. You know what? I might not feel or be fit to rule, but who is fit to rule over me? This is my life. This is my time. This is my truth. And I will take the reins, and move forward. I will take the bull by the horn. I will go after what it is that I desire. And I deserve to stand here in my power, in my grace, and in my understanding. And Aries, you become unstoppable because you look at you and you say, I am enough. I might not be all that I want to be. There might be roads to come, sure. But I am enough. And so all the doubt and the fear that starts to bombard you as you say this, it's like, no, stop. Stop. Because in this moment, right now, I have my connection with divinity, and I have what I need to pull myself forward. It might be excruciating at times, and at times life is. But here there is power. Here there is greatness. Here there is claiming the throne. Here there is the power of kings around you. And you are the king of the kings. You are the emperor. And there is such determination to your soul that it is astounding. During this time in the realm of money and in the realm of career, there is such potential and passion to you that you're stepping on the precipice of something great. Yeah, you really are. Okay. Let's see what your spirit animals have to say. Aries, December 1st to the 15th, 2020 Aries. December 1st to the 15th, 2020 Aries. December 1st to the 15th, 2020 Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This one. Okay. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. So we have here the porcupine spirit. It's time for beginner's mind. And beginner's mind, I always thought, this is so oddly worded. But beginner's mind is in Buddhism. The beginner's mind is to come to things not as a seasoned warrior, not as a person who's been there, done that, but as a child, as somebody who looks at things from new points of view, from new avenues, and says, oh wow, I never thought of it that way. I never thought of it that way, but that is really cool. So it's opening up your mind. It's broadening your horizons and your avenues. And it then brings you to the koi fish spirit. There is always enough. And that's going to be a very powerful thing. I would write that down too. There is always enough. There is always enough. I don't have to be without. There is always enough. The tide will turn. There is always enough. There is bounty that leads me forward. And just to say that, even in your despair, I mean, even when times get hard, and I know it sounds so trite, but I'm getting choked up here because, sometimes life can just be cruel. It just can be. And if you haven't gone through those cruel moments, I mean, bless you, because that is amazing. But I know personally, sometimes life can be so cruel, so overwhelming, so absolutely too much, that to say there's always enough when you're barely scraping by seems like a lie. To say I am enough when you've seen all your dreams and all your hard work just fall apart, it seems like a lie. But the thing is, your mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality. It just doesn't. It's kind of cool and it's kind of scary. So when you tell yourself, I am enough, and you start looking at the problems that you have, it's like, I am enough, I can do this. I am enough, I can conquer this. And your mind starts saying, I am enough, I can do this. I can conquer this, I can move forward. So the feeling like it's never going to end, and it's always going to be one hardship after another, starts to kind of fall away because I can handle it. The sense here of, there's always enough. When you don't have enough, it seems like a lie. But if you tell yourself there's always enough, it starts to change your vibrational energy. It starts to change the way that you're looking at things. And you're like, yeah, there is enough. There is enough, and I will be moving forward in this power. And so here, it's like that koi fish spirit brings the luck that changes the world for you, because it starts to change your mind. And then it leads you to the hawk spirit. Let spirit be your guide. Let spirit move you forward. Let spirit, guide you to where you need to be, because spirit can soar higher and see better than we ever can. So let spirit guide. Your subconscious spirit animal message is the badger spirit. Be bold and be fierce. Here, fearless, but also fierce. Be bold and be fearless. There's a power that moves you forward, Aries. And bold and fearlessness is just a part of you. And it's a part where you feel rather natural being. It's like, okay, this is my purpose, this is my determination, this is how I'm moving forward. And here, there's power. Here, there's fire. And Aries, that's what you thrive in. You thrive in the fire of this life, in what warms this earth, in what guides us forward. There's a reason why Prometheus was punished for bringing fire to man in Greek mythology, because fire is so important. If you think of it, fire is at the core of our earth. Fire is the sun that warms us. If we were a bit closer, a bit further away, the planet wouldn't be hospitable. But it's also the fire that we use to cook our food, which means that, our ancestors had far less disease to deal with once the meat was cooked. And also helped our nutritional intake and boiled the water and everything like that. And it's the fire that warmed the campsite, especially if you live in colder climate. Oh my gosh, if you're outside in the winter and you have a fire going, it's amazing. You're sitting there and you're like, oh, this is bearable. But if you don't have a fire going, oh no, it's too much. It's too cold. So here, it's like, be fearless and be bold. Let that fire burn within you. Then we have your subconscious chakra message, which is dreams, the third eye chakra. Listen to your dreams. Listen to the power of what it is that you desire. Listen to your daydreams, listen to your dreams, listen to your hopes, and listen to your fears. They really are going to be guiding you in an astounding way, leading you forward in a way that you hadn't imagined. Your third eye is opening. Your third eye, and I read this somewhere, in the meridians, it's the pituitary gland, which is the super gland, I believe it's called, because it's so important to us. So when that third eye opens, it's so important to us. That connection, that balance, that supreme understanding. Your subconscious person message is Taurus energy, okay, is the Hierophant. Time frame April 20th to May 20th. Very powerful, especially if you're born on the cusp with Aries. But on the cusp with Taurus, there we go. But this is a sense of stubbornness. This is a sense of that that King of Pentacles really being a stubborn, powerful force that you're connected with, because, of course, in the zodiac, it goes Aries and then it goes Taurus. So you have this innate understanding of the power and the stubbornness and the passion of Taurus energy. So here, as you step into it, it's like, this is what I desire. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is how I'm moving forward. It shows you stepping into a new world. It shows you, taking the bull by the horns and saying, this is me. And I'm not meekly stepping back at all. There's nothing meek about you during this time, Aries. It brings you to your subconscious tarot message, which is the Three of Swords. This is a time where we look at what has broken our hearts, the hurts, the pains, the disappointments, the upsets, the upheavals, the negativity, the anger, the despair. And we look at it openly and honestly. And we say, you don't get to be the ruling pathways of my life anymore. I don't get to define myself by my failures. I've learned from them, and I will keep on moving forward. I'm defined not by how I failed, but what I did afterwards. Because here's the secret: as much as we, especially now, do not want anybody to know, but even all throughout history, nobody wants anybody to know that they have failed. History isn't written by, writing down all the failures and then the one success that comes here or comes there. It's like, oh no, then we conquered this army and we achieved and we, did all this great stuff. And archaeologists can go back and say, well, it wasn't really that big, but, they made it sound bigger because it was more powerful. And in our world today, we do kind of the same thing, very much so, where we edit our pictures. We only post the really good things. We tell everybody how wonderful and beautiful our life is so that they can be jealous, so that we can feel better. And it's like, let's stop. Let's stop with saying, I don't have any hurt or any pain. And let's sit there and say, I do. But it doesn't get to define me anymore. And I'm no longer running away from my shadow. I'm looking at me fully and openly and honestly and saying, I love you for all the pain and all the hurt and all the disappointment you have been through, for the times that you have felt alone and the times that you have felt smothered by everybody around you. I love you, and I will continue to love you. And the pain and the hurt and the disappointment of this world, it will continue to come. But you are strong and you are bountiful, and you are more than you imagined. And it leads you then to go deeper into your subconscious. And it brings you to the Eight of Swords. It brings you to breaking free of that cage that doesn't let you fly. The cage of the mind that says, oh no, you can't. And once you address the hurts and the pains, you realize that yes, life has a sting and a bite to it, but it doesn't get to break my wings. It doesn't get to take away my beauty. I embrace my truth, and I fly to unbelievable heights because of it. I very much like this depiction of the Eight of Swords. I think it's really quite beautiful. All right, Aries, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we step forward into the world, as we step forward into our dreams and our prosperity, and as we are blessed with prosperity. To see that prosperity is going to be one of the biggest challenges of this time. To see that wealth, to see the blessings within, to see the divine gifts that come your way. But once you see it, Aries, you can't unsee it. And you move forward in a greater passion and in a greater truth than you ever realized that you desired, you ever realized needed to be a part of you. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries.